We're in Italy today, in a massive vehicle factory.
In today's Urbandoned episode, we are exploring epic abandoned industry.
Oh my god, this is crazy.
This is mint. It goes on for miles.
Once a key manufacturer for iconic Fiat cars, the colossal plant lies a shadow of its former self. Join us as we explore the immense site and find out we are not alone.
Oh, I see him, he's there. Shit, I've just seen two guys really close to us. Very strange. Ready for another explore? What's going on here?
Can't go anywhere with a little bit of early hydration. I'm currently trying the lemon flavour, it's one of my favourites.
You have it as well, Fia?
Yeah, I've got the iced tea, and they come in these little boxes, small little pouch, you can carry them, nice and convenient. This is apple green tea. I've never had the iced tea, to be honest.
It's really good, I actually really like the iced tea.
The iced tea's got loads of vitamin C in it, it's got antioxidants and all sorts of goodness. I genuinely drink this, and have been for like a month and a bit now, every single day before work. Apart from this one, brand new.
Oh, that is actually wonderful.
Cheers.
Where can people get it?
If you head to the link in our description and use either Urban5 for £5 off your first order, or Urban for 10% off. Thank you to Holy for sponsoring the video.
It's early 2025 in southern Italy, and we are about to embark on a thrilling adventure. The gigantic factory we are targeting is known as Termini, Imerese, once a Fiat manufacturing plant that opened in 1970. Its construction was part of a regional venture to introduce car production in the area of Sicily.
Just want to bring yourself down nice and slowly. Watch the barbed wire. Dart across. Just check your line of sight to the left because that's where that car was.
With a ferocious storm overhead, we seeked shelter inside the vast complex. After spotting a few cars at the facility's entrance, we didn't want to take any chances and briskly headed in.
This place is gigantic, isn't it?
Absolutely humongous. We're in Italy today, in a massive vehicle factory.
Glad to see that it hasn't been stripped. We had a little concern, and there might even be workers on site. It's so big we can't really tell.
Yeah, it's quiet for now, but
Yeah.
we don't know what's further down this hall. There is definitely signs of strippage though. These
Yeah.
bays look pretty clear, but maybe most of the racking and stuff has gone here.
It's just so colourful in here compared to different car factories that we have done. The reds, oranges, blues and yellows. So photogenic.
First sign of a robotic arm. Still hanging in place. Would have run up and down this track here, but what it would have been picking or implementing has all been stripped. There's the Lancia badge at the top, related to the cars in process here.
We started on one side of the plant, and I think we're just going to continuously make our way in the same direction but at different points to kind of survey all areas. When we come across workers, we come across workers. It's already getting really good. We've passed the edges where it looked a little stripped, and now here it's just all completely intact. There's very, very good line of sight in here too, so if there is workers who won't be expecting us like we're expecting them, it's going to be really hard for them to spot us. Really atmospheric with the rain as well on the roof. It's pouring down outside. This would have had conveyor belts on it, wouldn't it? But they've been taken off.
Yeah, I think so. Having said that, I can't see any runners. It feels like a long enough line that it would have had them.
There's conveyors all on the left here.
Oh yeah.
Massive machinery. Imagine how loud this place was back in its heyday.
I know. It's just been replaced with the rain now.
Yeah. It's got a production marker sign up there where they would have let all the workers know how much they're making and whether they're meeting their targets. Close up of one of those screens. It's obviously all in Italian, but I can make out the word production. Here's a conveyor. When you come close to it, you see how dirty it all is. Look how retro this monitor was as well. And perhaps this one closed before everything else with the tarp on it. Usually a sign of that in factories.
I've said this many a time, but I think this is the true definition of what is going to be a maze. You can see the windows at the far, far end straight ahead of me.
Do you think this is one of the biggest buildings we've ever done?
Yeah.
Standalone?
I was just saying. Those are the windows at the far end widthways. You can't even see how far it goes lengthways.
It's the perfect place to play hide and seek with security or workers, isn't it?
I was going to say, don't want to jinx it, but it'd be very hard to find anybody in here.
These halls here are huge.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit taller.
Gantry cranes in here and all sorts. Might be more assembly parts over here.
The rain is pouring in here. Little cracks in the ceiling that have got worse with the amount of rainfall. These machines are quite cool though. More that I'm not 100% sure what they are. But it seems like the perfect space there to put a car. So, because there's 4 of them, possibly something to do with the tyres.
As the small vehicle factory developed in the 70s, the first car produced at the plant was the Fiat 500. By 1977, Fiat had taken total control of the land and rapidly expanded, building iconic models including the 500, 126, Panda and Punto.
See if the admin areas are as untouched as the machinery. Wow. Holy shit. God, this is cool. Canteen. I think I got lucky this being the first of these rooms that I went inside. Everything is left though, and there's just tiles dropping off the wall. All natural decay. The nice colourful pictures they had of fresh produce to make the workers forget what they were doing is also peeling from the wall. And all the kitchens are just the same, totally untouched.
The factory would become integral to local industry, employing over 3,000 workers at its peak in the 1980s. However, moving into the 2000s, poor competitiveness and logistics prices would cause struggle. Fiat would officially shut the plant in 2011 a Lancia Ypsilon being the final car to come off the line, hundreds of workers would enter redundancy.
I doubt anything can top the canteen that Alistair found. Maybe some untouched offices up here would be quite nice. Well, I guess it's somewhat photogenic. I always think if you're not familiar with the scale of one of these places, it's the fact that there are roads always running through them, mainly for forklifts and probably little buggies, just to get people around. Obviously, and hopefully we don't have to look out for any cars driving around in here, because that probably wouldn't be a good thing. Wow, there's a lot of complicated machinery left here on the right, all still hanging. Got grabbers, little picks on the end. Probably doing some very intricate work on this line here. Small office space here, by the looks of things. Pinboards, desks, a cupboard there, a filing cabinet really. 2 of them actually, all completely full of stuff.
I love this little break area. So cute. It's the second one I've seen as well, so they would have had them spaced out across the factory. Little water fountain there as well, just so the workers could replenish themselves. The water damage in here is crazy. I'm not surprised they cut the power probably soon after it closed. We took a little break from the high levels of machinery in here in the canteen, but now we're about to go deep into that, which looks like an absolute maze of components. It's dark down here. I don't really want to use my torch, but I believe these are the assembly lines. You can see the big cranes. Hopefully we can get more close up to one of these. There's so many cranes though, and they're all still perfectly intact. Wow. Just see the huge shadows. Shit. They were just stood there in the control panel, like no building shit, just 2 guys in black. I think we keep an eye on them. Where do we go? Go round to the left here. Just seen 2 guys really close to us. Very strange. Just stood in like a little control booth thing. Go on. Maybe text them. They were in that glass thing. Oh, I see him, he's there. You see him in the control thing? In the doorway, yeah. What are they doing though? They just stood in there, not moving. Scrapping. It could be. What? It could be. It could be group. Yeah, that they're walking around in it. Oh yeah, they're in there. That's not builders though, or security, I don't think. It could be a group up for muscle. Yeah. Should we go get them? I think we should keep an eye on them, get them to come to us. It's one of them's a woman, I think. Could be explorers. They're away from us. They're walking away from us now. Just come meet us at that little bit. See that? Yeah, how bizarre. If they leave, then I'm not going to question it. The way they're moving around though, and spending that much time in that control booth, it sounds like they were looking at. Feels like they were looking at papers as explorers. That's bizarre though. We don't often come across other explorers. So, didn't really know how to act, but I think we handled that relatively well. decided we're going to climb into the big robotic arms. It's very cool, to be fair. They're quite unique machines to ones we usually see. You can see the car being passed down here. These would make adjustments to it. I feel like possibly add doors and windows, potentially. It's no surprising that the workforce wasn't actually that big here, because I feel like a lot of this would have been automated, just so it could happen very, very quickly. Yeah, this is pretty special, to be honest. It's quite amazing that none of this machinery was sold off, because surely some of it could have been reused or even scrapped for money.
Entering a new territory now. Looks like there's going to be way more machinery past this point as we go way further into the building.
There's so many of these things, man.
A lot of arms here. Oh, it looks way longer than the other one as well. Holy shit.
Oh my god, this is
This
crazy.
is mint. It goes on for miles. This isn't just like a little section. This is something completely different. Look how far that goes down for.
This was one of the robotic body shops at the Fiat Factory, an assembly line stretching the structure's width to handle automated welding of car body shells using robots. It felt extraordinary to witness the space untouched and silent, once able to produce more than 1,000 cars a day. Over the 41 years of Fiat occupancy, the human workforce reduced by thousands as robots replaced them, helping keep the site competitive. Yet, despite the cutting down, industrial modernisation could not save the factory, Fiat not wanting to assign enough production to its Sicilian manufacturers.
I think this is my favourite bit of the whole factory so far. The colours, the rust and decay, and the fact that these machines are so awesome sci-fi looking. I'm sure I can find old videos of this place still in use, and I bet it will be really fascinating to compare, especially the sound. Now it's just this overwhelming silence and the rain hammering down on the roof. Changes up here. Again, I'm unsure exactly what is taking place. This avenue stretches the whole width of the building. Just this long conveyor. I wonder how many cars or parts this bit specifically would have exported. This is pretty crazy. God knows what would have happened to the car or parts that was being passed through here, but it's a bit intimidating to walk through. It'd be great to get your comments to understand what would have happened in these areas, because I'm quite clueless. You can see here it would have been lowered, and it perhaps would have ran underneath, I guess, to save space. going up this walkway that passes over the assembly line. Should give me a cool view. It comes to an end there, the machinery cuts off, but up to that point, this entire side had been those robotic arms. Probably is quite a good view from here, to be fair. You can see how far it travels along the building. Must have been so expensive to run. Think of the electricity needed to power this. I'd be surprised if it didn't have its own power station somewhere.
Looking towards the direction we haven't been yet, it seems very stripped. A mixture of stripped and storage shelves. So I think we're choosing the right bit to neglect. Especially where that's where we saw the two people leave to.
What have you got for me, Ollie?
No idea what any of it's doing.
No. Big belts there.
Charlie.
Yeah, I know. Where's Charlie when we need him? He's a big car fan. There's lots and lots of stuff left.
Oh, isn't that like a transmission? So that's a gearbox.
Could be.
Completely wrong.
We normally are.
I swear that's like the oh, it's sticky.
Greasy.
No, that's like a crankshaft.
This bit's more stripped than the rest. There's nothing
Yeah.
on that far side anymore.
You can see the lines where things was.
This is cool. It's traffic lights.
Yeah.
Presumably, stuff would have come along these tracks, and for anyone to cross, it'd have to be green.
That bit on the right there looks a bit like a car wash with the little flaps.
Yeah, it does. This could be the paint job finishing area. Maybe body parts would have gone through here.
God almighty, it just keeps on going.
There's big heating panels running on my left and right, all the way down here. Definitely referring to some sort of drying process. As you can see, it just continues into the next section. Goes deeper into our left as well.
I could be wrong, but I think this machinery and building looks more modern than the one we were just in. It's made more of corrugated iron as opposed to the brick that was the main foundations of the other bit. Seems to be more watertight as well. Deliberate finale. Does that mean end of production line, possibly? Would make sense with where we are in the building. The calendar from December 2011 is a lot older than I thought this place was when it closed.
We've now delved into darkness. We're within the middle of the complex. No idea what we're in at the moment. Oh, it opens up in here though. What on earth? Looks like a car wash. It's definitely not, I don't think anyway.
It's like a car wash from hell.
Yeah. Keeps going though, look how far that runs.
They're like pumps.
I don't know.
Touch one on the right. Not one of those ones, the ones on the right. Would they have air in them? They look like they'd inflate.
Maybe. They've got no, they look like they'd probably move maybe.
Yeah.
Back and forth, but they've got a very, very small pinhole there, so maybe fine spraying of paint, maybe.
Possibly. There must be a reason why it's in this chamber as opposed to in the open air like everything else.
And this bit's got nothing, sadly.
I think the paints they do use on cars, the chemicals are quite hazardous.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to get in here easily when it was active.
Oh my. Is it flooded?
Yeah.
This is... Yeah. Oh yeah, but I bet that's what it is, yeah. Yeah. I've never seen anything like this though, this is bizarre.
I'm glad this isn't on. It's a mental amount of water pouring in over this panel.
Right, we have passed through the whole building now. This side has mostly been more modern and more stripped.
It's crazy, we've not seen those two people since, which is probably like over an hour ago. It just
Yeah.
shows how big this place really is.
They could easily still be in here as well. We just
I
wouldn't
think
know.
they probably are, yeah.
But yeah, because of daylight, and we do want to get some good shots of the outside of this place, we'll probably call it there. If we did miss anything, I don't think it's anything too major. I think we've seen enough to get the gist of the place.
Definitely.
It's been amazing seeing an industrial site this big and in this state of all the decay. Especially in the atmospheric rain too. Let's get out of here.
After closure in 2011, the vacant site was passed to BlueTech in 2015, who promised reindustrialisation with components and potential electric projects. However, by 2019, executives at the company were arrested over alleged misuse of public funds, and the relaunch collapsed. The grounds were sold in 2024 again for a similar goal, but any redevelopment has been slow and disputed. Fiat's desolate relic left dormant for now. Here are some of our photographs captured at the abandoned vehicle factory. If you like the look of them, check out our Instagram page in the description, where we share images from our explores months before they are seen on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode of A Special Place. With the storm, it felt pretty atmospheric. See you next time.